Hi guys, Omores here. Today we're checking out Windows Longhorn and a bit of Windows Vista. Longhorn has been requested many times here on the channel and now it's finally time. If you're not sure what Longhorn is, well, it's a project that Microsoft started even before Windows XP launched. And after lots of delays, it eventually became Windows Vista. There are many Longhorn builds out there, but we're going with the popular build 4047 from 2004. This is the first build with Aero support, though the feature isn't enabled by default. I actually remember playing around with Longhorn back in 2003. I don't know exactly which build it was, but it felt kind of slow on my Athlon XP PC. Now, on modern hardware it should run better, assuming it even boots in the first place. Since the 4074 Longhorn build is closer to Windows XP than to Vista, it should in theory be just as compatible as XP. And that's not exactly great news because it won't run on modern systems starting with Intel 6th Gen or AM4 platforms due to ACPI incompatibilities. Even if we manage to bypass the ACPI issues, Longhorn also expects an ID drive since there is no native ACI support for SATA controllers. So let's see what kind of error we get. If it stops with an A5, that's ACPI. If it's a 7B at the end, that's the disk controller. But before we find out, a very quick word from today's sponsor, Keysworlds.com. For anyone who builds or upgrades their own PC, you know that every time you install a new motherboard, most likely you'll need a new Windows activation key. Sure, we can get one directly from Microsoft, but at full price that's not exactly the best deal. The next best option is getting a key from a third-party marketplace like Keysworlds.com. They have very good offers, and if you use the discount code OMO25, you'll get an extra 25% off at checkout. By the way, I checked when I first activated my Windows 10 Pro, the same install I'm still running today, and it turns out it was back in 2020. I don't remember exactly where I grabbed the key, but I know for sure it was a killer deal. And speaking of 2020, Keysworlds.com has been around since then, so if you ever need a new Windows key for Office, they're worth a look. If you do check them out, make sure to use code OMO25 at checkout. All the links are in the description. Alright, now back to Longhorn on modern hardware. First, I started with the 64-bit version, and my test configuration was the Intel 9th Gen build I showed you before. The one I know plays nice with operating systems like Windows NT 98 or 2000. And it wasn't exactly a surprise, the setup ended with a blue screen related to ACPI. However, I do have a patched ACPI driver for Windows XP x64 that I know works on very modern hardware, and since both the Longhorn 4047 and XP x64 are based on Windows Server 2003 code, I used that patched ACPI file to create a new Longhorn ISO. But it didn't work on this Intel 9th Gen system either. Next, since I know Windows XP x64 with the patched ACPI driver works on my Ryzen 9 9900X system, I switched from Intel to AMD hardware, and after some fiddling around, I can confirm XP x64 is running perfectly fine on this X670 motherboard with USB 3X, NVMe, and SATA support. But when I tried to start the Longhorn setup, this time I didn't even get a blue screen, instead the installer simply froze while loading. So yeah, modern hardware on Longhorn, that's pretty much a no-go. You see, back in 2004, Longhorn wasn't fully Windows XP, but it wasn't Vista yet either. It sat somewhere in between, which means even more fiddling is needed to get it running. My next move was to downgrade the configuration quite a bit, so I could actually show you Longhorn in action. So I went with an AM3 motherboard with an FX-8300 8-core CPU. This time everything worked right from the first try, no ACPI issues, the SATA drives were set to ID mode, and of course AM3 motherboards come with native USB 2 support, which helps a lot. As a result, Longhorn installed without any problems, even though the hardware is about 10 years newer than the OS itself. By the way, Longhorn identifies itself as Windows 6.0, that's Vista, and driver installers check the OS version, so XP video drivers refuse to install, while Vista drivers don't work either since the WDDM driver model wasn't fully implemented yet. That's not a huge deal because we can still install the drivers manually, but even so, I didn't have much luck installing the NVIDIA drivers. However, this motherboard comes with an ATI HD3000 iGPU, and I was able to install it just fine using the XP drivers. At this point, I was ready for the big moment, enabling Aero effects. This only requires a simply registered tweak to enable something called the Media Integration Layer, or MIL. And after we restart or just logging off, we can immediately see the changes. And yes, the effects are there. We even get some strange Aero star animations moving around the desktop, something I'm honestly glad didn't make it into Windows Vista. Now, Aero was still very much a work in progress at this stage. It's not all very polished, but even so, Longhorn still looks stunning. I mean, in 2004 I was still counting on Windows 98 for gaming, but someone with a DirectX 9 GPU could have experienced all these fancy graphics. Now, why was I still running Windows 98 back then? Well, simply because on less pretentious hardware, Windows 98 was simply faster. And speaking of hardware, Longhorn was perfectly happy seeing Alt-8 CPUs the FX-8300 claims to have. That's kind of a big deal because when the 4047 build was released in May 2004, there were no multi-core desktop CPUs on the market yet. Even so, running with ACPUs didn't cause any instability, but Longhorn, being Longhorn, it's still not exactly snappy even on faster hardware. Next, I took my time and managed to get SATA drivers working using backported Windows XP drivers. On the onboard SATA, I got 250 megabytes per second, which is about right for SATA 2. And then I tried a SATA 3 controller that managed about 350 megabytes per second. Having SATA drivers in place, I tried to move the installation to another system, but because the internal clock didn't match, Longhorn simply deactivated itself. Most builds have a self-destruct mechanism. They only work for 180 days, and once they deactivate, changing the time back won't help. That was it. I didn't start over with Longhorn. Instead, I moved on to Vista, figuring you might be curious to see how it runs, or if it runs on something like an M5 system. Since the onboard SATA 3 controller doesn't seem to be compatible with legacy operating systems, I used the SATA 3 controller I showed you earlier, the one with the GMB 582 chip. Even so, the 32-bit version of Windows Vista didn't like that controller either, which is a bit disappointing considering this was the first Windows release with native AACI support. No problem, my goal was anyway to run Vista Ultimate 64-bit edition. Last time I checked the Vista 64 on a 14th gen PC, it installed perfectly fine from a DVD. And guess what? I didn't get scared by this fancy Ryzen 9 CPU. And basically, everything worked from the start. Well, not everything, because in Vista, even though this is Service Pack 2, there is still no USB 3 support. Windows 7 doesn't have it either. But my motherboard does have one PS2 port, which works every time with legacy OSs, and this time was no exception. I had to do the installation with just the keyboard. Of course, that's not a big deal because we can install the USB 3 drivers later, which is exactly what I did. One thing I didn't install were the video drivers because Vista already comes with built-in support for the NVIDIA 7900GS, the same GPU I use on Windows 98 on this very system. That meant I was up and running right away in Full HD with proper HD audio support as well. Next, I installed the legacy update, which after applying a few critical patches actually unlocked access to the original Windows Update servers. And yes, we are in 2026 and Windows Vista update servers are still online almost 20 years later. Seeing that actually work made all the trouble of making this video completely worth it. Now you might be wondering about that strange PC with the built-in LCD you saw at the start of the video. Well, it's an industrial system made in Italy, basically a POS terminal powered by a VIA C7 x86 CPU, manufactured around 2010 and originally shipped with Windows XP. It turns out it can run Longhorn, but it's much better suited for a Windows 98 style build. We'll take a closer look at it in a future video. That's all for today. Thanks for sticking around. Omores out.